So, Gulcan, we have the Young Cultural Ambassador program. This year, we're doing it virtually for the first time. We used to do it face to face. This year, we decided to go virtual, and actually, it became a good thing for the program because now we have students from across the US, from Seattle, Washington to California, Illinois, Missouri, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Florida, I think North Carolina, this DMV area. So it's a very diverse group. They're all high school students, and they have been really interested in the program. So we are very excited to have Gulcan Yayla with us today. Gulcan is a social entrepreneur. She has a very inspiring story that we would like her to share with you today. She graduated from the Middle East Technical University with an industrial engineering degree after working for Eczacıbaşı Holding, which is one of Turkey's largest and oldest holding companies. She came to the US to study her master's, to get her master's degree in the Washington University in St. Louis. Is it Montana or?
No, yeah, it is in St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and while she was studying there, she decided to change her focus from business to social entrepreneurship. And then I guess the rest is history. She's gonna tell us how she became a social entrepreneur, um, how she was working for the Malala Fund, but then decided to leave everything behind and go to Turkey and start this wonderful initiative, which she has been um, successfully leading and growing in the last few years. And we also have Gizem Korkmaz, who's Atadisi's treasurer with us. And Gizem is a professor, researcher, um, in the area of, is it the statistics?
Data science.
Data science. And Gizem and Gulcan partnered on an exciting project in Istanbul last year, and they're going to tell us about that too. So with that, I turn it over to Gulcan for her presentation.
Yeah, perfect. So, hi everyone. Just first of all, I hope that this wouldn't be too boring. I will first of all share a little bit of my story and what we are doing in Turkey. So because I wasn't sure about the format, I didn't prepare a presentation, but I thought that maybe it can be a question answer. So it would be better if it is more interactive, I think. So very nice to meet you. I'm Gulcan. As Demet Hanım already summarized very well. So I have been born and raised in Turkey until 2014. I lived in Turkey completely. So I did my engineering degree in Turkey as well. And then I worked in the private sector for 3 years in business and strategy. It was great. I don't know what you are gonna study in university, what are your dreams, but around the age of 20, 24 or something, I started realizing, I mean, this is great, just working in business and everything, but something started to bug me. And one of the biggest thing, because of my own story as well, was the educational problems in Turkey. So just so many people are just don't have access to a good education. I mean, maybe most of you are really going to good schools and everything, but there are millions and more millions of people around the world who do not have that kind of education, and that always kind of bugged me because I also fought for my education a lot during my life, as well as my sisters. So I said, okay, I mean, I guess, there may be some things for me to do about this problem, just maybe I can help people just to have better education for their lives. But I didn't know what to do because I didn't have that kind of education. So that's why, without knowing what social entrepreneurship is exactly, I applied to some schools in the US. Uh, and I got accepted with full scholarship to WashU and I came here. And it, of course, changed my life. I mean, after coming to the US. If you ask me what is social entrepreneurship, it is this. So maybe you heard of people starting businesses. Maybe you heard of startups. You know, these companies, entrepreneurs start these, and they make tons of money and everything. So normal companies that you hear of, they are mostly focused on profit, so making money kind of. But for social entrepreneurs, it is similar. I mean, it is similar in the sense of you have to start a business, you have to produce a value for the system, but the focus is more on the social benefit that you create for the society than on profits. I mean, what is the difference of social entrepreneurship from a non-profit management is this. So social enterprises also make money. They have to sustain themselves. They have to, um, just be sustainable. They cannot depend on only donations. But when doing that, the focus is using that resources, using that financial resources to invest in society. That's what we do in Kodluyoruz as well. But for non-profits, they are mostly all dependent on the grants and donations of people. So let's say you want to you want to support girls study, and you collect donations from people and support girls, give them scholarships and everything. So that's also a different model. But for social entrepreneurs, you also start a business basically. And I can tell you a little bit more about this. So if you are afraid that, oh, okay, I want to do something in the world, but can I really do it sustainably, or can I really grow it like in a more business way? Yes, there are many ways to do that, like we do basically. So I learned about that in the US. That went very well. And in the US, I met with this concept of bootcamp, coding bootcamp. I have never seen that before in Turkey. It means that you are training people to be software developers in a shorter amount of time. Why do we train people to be software developers? Because there are so many jobs in the world right now in software development. Maybe you heard of these in your school as well. So this sector, this technology sector, is growing a lot, which I am sure you are also seeing in your lives, right? So many things you use on internet or on your phones, they're constantly improving, and the companies improving these are growing, as well as their people. But the problem is, as they grow, the schools are not able to catch up. So the universities and high schools, they are not able to graduate people with those skills needed. Because imagine this, like Google is discovering a new technology, a new algorithm, but who is going to teach this to people for Google to hire them? So even Google the other day announced a new university. They said, we are not going to look for your degree, your college degree. Come to our university. You are going to graduate with our content, and we are going to hire you directly. You are not going to be unemployed. So this kind of promises created this bootcamp model. And I met with it here in St. Louis, and I talked with them. I said, we have to do this in Turkey. Why? Because there are millions of unemployed people in Turkey. So imagine this, like right now, uh, if you go to the streets of Turkey and see all those young people, every 1 in 3, I mean 30%, more than 30% of them are unemployed. That is a mind-blowing thing. Think about this. There are millions of people in the country which is unemployed. So that's a big problem for us. And so we said that, okay, people are looking for jobs, companies looking for software developers. So let's train them in the boot camps and, employ them in these companies. And this created an amazing value for the country as well. So we are now across 15 cities in Turkey. We are not only in Istanbul. If you know Turkey a little bit, I'm sure you know, there are Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, these big cities. It is easier to train people in these places, but we also go to the middle of Turkey. We also go to the east of Turkey and talk with businesses there and ask them what do they need. They most of the time need website developers, web developers. So we train those people in those cities. And there are so many great stories we have created here. Like there are some mothers, for example, in the middle of Anatolia, and they haven't been working after they had children and everything. And after having our training, we placed them into jobs as web developers. They were able to find jobs here. So it is such an area that if you are talented, if you are motivated to do things, even now at high school level, you can start learning how to code. And if you continue, which I think one of your biggest advantages is you know English, and there are so many resources in English in coding. So it is so easy for you guys. If you are interested, I would love to chat with you about this, like how you can build your career in this, how you can learn coding and algorithms. I would love to, just answer if you have any questions. But for example, right now in Turkey as well, like we started supporting high school students as well. We sometimes accept high school students in our boot camps, and if they are really interested in this, really dedicated into it. And one of our students, for example, he found jobs remotely and started working there. He doesn't even have college degree. He's just at high school and he's making money out of this. It is amazing to us. And right now, actually, we hired another person for Kodluyoruz as well. He's full-time working with us. He's just 18-year-old and doing an amazing job as well in the team. So the message is this area of technology is growing and there is need for people who are interested in it. And it is good in terms of providing an opportunity for millions of people really to work on it. So we are right now trying to change that and create that. Another opportunity is that starting a business became much more easier because right now you don't have to invest millions of dollars if you have an idea. You can quickly start testing it with really cheap technologies, And so that's why like some of our students started their own companies in Turkey and started hiring new people. This is another great result of what we are doing. Yeah, so let me stop here about what we are doing. And obviously, like all these things, creating a movement in Turkey and creating this environment where people can learn for free and then find jobs as well. That um, just mobilized so many people that right now more than 30,000 people are taking our classes around Turkey and coming to our boot camps. And there's an amazing community as well. I don't know if you guys are using Discord. Some of you may be using it if you are playing games or something. We have a Discord channel. There are 6,000 people in it, and around 1,000 of them are always online, talking with each other, socializing. There are English speaking clubs as well in them where they practice their English. And please join us. I mean, you can meet with people from Turkey and, just join the conversation. It's really, really fun. So I can tell you more a little bit about it. If you want to make friends from Turkey, see what the young people are talking there, what their interests are, like who is a developer, what do they talk about and everything. I would be happy to connect you with our people. Yeah, so I'm very happy to meet you and looking forward to answering your questions. But let me now invite Gizem Hoca for introducing herself.
Thank you, Gulcan. Thank you for the inspiring talk. So my name is Gizem. I'm part of the research faculty at University of Virginia. I studied in Turkey. I did my bachelor's and master's in economics at Boğaziçi University in Istanbul. And then I moved to Italy to do my PhD, again in economics. And then I moved to the US for my postdoctoral studies. And right now I'm working with communities and doing data science to see how we can help communities to start efficient services, efficient programs for themselves. So we're trying to achieve higher welfare for communities by using data. So we're working with evidence-based policy, which is not very common in many places, especially developing countries. people talk about data, but they don't actually use data to make policy. So we're encouraging communities, policymakers to use the data that they have to understand what's going on and to actually influence policy with that. And I can answer more questions about that if you have later. So one of the things that we do in our institute is we have a program called the Data Science for the Public Good Young Scholars program. This is a summer program aimed at training students, undergraduate and graduate students in data science. So teaching them the tools that they can use to work with data, large, complex data sets, and to work with government agencies that have certain problems about education, transportation, and many other questions that you may think about. So we actually have these project teams where students are trained with data science tools, and at the same time, they work on these projects so they can actually learn by doing. And there's the real impact aspect of this program because they're working with these stakeholders, the policymakers, and they're showing them how they can change some of the things that they do. And in order to do that, they're actually using the data that they collect. So that's the program, and we have been running this program for the last 7 years. We have many students, over 100 students in the US at many universities. We have students, participants from many universities across the nation. And during one of at the DC events, I met with Gulcan and I heard about this fascinating program that she has initiated in Turkey. And then as we spoke about what each other did, then we said, why not launch this program in Turkey? Because they're already receiving the trainings through Kodluyoruz, the program, the nonprofit that Gulcan initiated. But why not go to the policymakers in Turkey and actually engage them in this program and have these students work on problems that are raised by these policymakers. And Gulcan and her team already had some connections there. So they had some connections with Istanbul municipality, which made things easier because it's always a challenge to get the policymakers on board because they don't want to really question. They don't want to be questioned about what they are doing, and they don't want to question how they do things. But Istanbul municipality was very proactive in the sense that they were on board. They came out with certain projects that the students could work on. And as Gulcan mentioned in the beginning, we had 2 cohorts that are graduated from the program in Turkey. So we launched the program, Data Science for the Public Good Young Scholars program in Istanbul. And as a follow-up, we applied to a grant from the US Embassy in Turkey. And they also provided some funds for us to continue the program in Turkey. In addition to that, we also launched the program in Ankara with some connections there as well. So we have this agreement now, an agreement between Istanbul, Ankara, parties there, and also University of Virginia in the US. So we're very proud of our program and we're very excited about it.
Wow, how exciting.
Yeah.
Gizem, could you tell us a bit more specifically about this? I mean, if you're allowed to, of course, if it's not confidential, like to make it more concrete for the students so that they understand what you mean by data science in support of policymaking.
Yeah, so we work with various government agencies, as I mentioned before, and I can explain this with an example, maybe that will be easier. So for example, one of the agencies that we work with is the Arlington County Police and Fire Department. So we work with them and we have these meetings asking them what are some of the issues that they see that they could improve on when they're serving the community, right? And one of the things that they're interested in, for example, is reducing their response time. So when there's an incident, when there's a fire or when there's some crime going on, right? The time that they respond to these events is very important for them to save lives, especially for the fire department. This was a major issue. So they come to us and they say, how can we reduce our response times to incidents that are happening, like the fire event that I mentioned before? So we have that question at hand, and we think about how we can address that question. First, we need to understand what are the things that affect response times, right? And how are we going to understand this is by collecting the data that they have been gathering, just to keep records of things that are going on in the department. So one thing you guys need to understand is that these policymakers, these organizations always collect data. They are not collecting the data for research, but they're actually collecting the data to administer what they do, right? They have records of this incident happened, this is the police officer that responded to the incident, these are the vehicles that respond to the incident, because they need to do this for budgeting purposes, for administration of the organization. But we as researchers can actually repurpose these administrative data sources to understand what's going on for these incidents. So we had their data set, which included each incident that happened for, I don't know, for 5-6 years in Arlington. You have the location of each incident, where they went. You have the time that they received the call. You have the time that they left the station, right? And you have a lot of information, like what kind of vehicles responded to the event. Was it a fire truck? Was it an emergency vehicle? You know, did the medical people, did they need to go there based on the type of the call that they received, right? So you have a lot of information actually they have collected. And what you can do as a data scientist, as a statistician, economist, you can actually model this by using the data. So you want to understand what affects response time. And for each incident, you have all that information. So you can really start building these models to understand what are the factors that affect response time. Okay, so that's the understanding piece. And once you understand that, you can say, oh, for example, one example was one of the stations had a long response time, one of the stations in Arlington, because there are multiple fire stations. It's not only one station that they go from. So you can actually identify whether it is about that station, what's going on there. And they could start thinking about what we can change in this station so that they can have a lower, reduced response time from that station. Does that make sense? So they change the ways that they do things, or they do some interventions based on what you observe in the data that you work with. So that's one example. So, and in addition to local government agencies like the Arlington County departments, we also work with government agencies at the state level, at the federal level. So we have many projects going on, and students are part of these projects, and they get the chance to interact with these policymakers. So that's the unique feature of the program, I would say. Any other questions? And maybe we can give one example from Istanbul.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I mean, for example, last year, as Gizem just said, we did work with the Istanbul municipality about the biggest problems that they had. So obviously, so there were several really good projects actually. So one of them was about like, how are we using the water resources in Istanbul, because water is not a unlimited resource. And Istanbul is, as you know, one of the like most crowded cities. So our students use the data from the municipality to understand like which regions of Istanbul are using the water for what purposes, and to guide the municipality about like maybe how to price it over time about their use. This was one of the projects. Another one was like, since we started the program when the COVID was really high, so one of our student groups used, I don't know if you have been to Eminönü, but used the camera recordings of this camera in Eminönü to understand like, okay, which locations do people really get close to each other. They did image processing project. And when they see that there is a lot of people coming together, when they really like the region is really crowded, they are immediately like informing the kind of police department to say that, okay, this is, you have to intervene here because people are really getting close to each other without like it. The benefit of this is that if you implement this kind of project, imagine that you don't need to always send a policeman there to observe it. Like you can just have like process these images and see what's going on, and just intervene there immediately when something happens, because the model warns you that saying that okay, something is happening right now in this region. But this can be applied to everything when you think about it. Like it can be applied to crime, fire, or any other thing in medicine as well. I guess the exam knows much better than me, but these projects really became eye-opening. And this year as well, some of the projects are obviously involving traffic problem in Istanbul, because there's always a traffic problem. I don't know if you have been to Istanbul, but you always have to wait and everything. So right now our students also trying to find, okay, what are the reasons of this? What kind of what can we understand from data about when there are these jams, traffic jams? How can we warn the citizens about it? What can we do to help the government to estimate beforehand what's gonna happen going forward? So it's really fun. Actually, it's difficult, of course, to look at all the data and understand what's going on. But they are very useful for the municipality. They actually want to hire some of our students now from the program, and really just do this all the time instead of just one project thing. So I mean, the good thing is, if you are questioning that, okay, I want to do something very useful in the world, I don't want to just go to business, I want to do really great things, just contribute to the world, do good things happen. I mean, you can use technology for so many good things, and these are very good examples. Like you can use it to help people, to help firefighters save lives. You know, just that is the amazing part of these new technologies. They are really, the goal is not to code. To code, like coding is for solving problems. Like when you think about it, it becomes really cool, and it provides a lot of opportunities for you.
Fascinating stuff. So while we open it for questions from students, I mean, I have a couple of questions, but also, I mean, I'm really impressed because the two of you just met at an at a DC event. You talked about an idea, and then you made it happen. And now you have a grant from the U.S. Embassy in Turkey, and now you're expanding to Ankara. I mean, this shows, you know, individuals can definitely make a difference. Just don't say I can't do it. There's nothing I can do about it. There can be things that can be done, um, if you are willing and motivated. So thank you, ladies, both for taking that initiative, and showing us that, you know, yes, you can make a change.
Mhm.
Thank you. I'm posting the link to the symposium where the
Oh,
students
perfect.
presented their projects
Mhm.
last
Mhm.
last summer. So if you scroll down on that page, you'll see the three projects that the students, the teams
Mhm.
from Istanbul actually presented. So
Oh, wow.
you can see their teaser videos as well. They're very creative.
So Gulcan, I know that your program also targets like refugees in Turkey,
Mhm.
and underprivileged, um, children. I mean, not children, but youth.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about that? Because we had a session, with an expert, on refugees, and we learned, I mean, in this
Mm.
program, we learned about refugees. So
Nice.
it's exciting to see how the two topics connect.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so obviously, I mean, because we are providing our trainings for free, we are trying to find people who need it. Because there are also many programs that they can pay and go, but we don't want to attract those people. We mostly try to find people who cannot pay for these things, who are unemployed, or who are, you know, who have difficult problems in their lives. And we generally accept those people to our bootcamps. And obviously, like, we also prioritize women too, because women are less in number in technology, although they are very talented. Yeah, one of the groups that we support is obviously refugees as well in Turkey. We accept them in our bootcamps as well. One of the good advantages of refugee population in Turkey, especially from Syria, they have very good English skills actually, better than the Turkish people. So it allows them to work remotely from Turkey. So sometimes maybe you hear news about, oh, okay, there are not enough jobs even for Turkish people. You know, what are we gonna do with millions of refugees? The good thing is we are able to place refugees into jobs remotely as well. So right now, for example, we have made an agreement with a Swedish organization, and we are going to place 10 of our refugee students into jobs in Sweden remotely. They will work from Turkey. Yeah, so that is great for everyone actually, for the Turkish economy, because it is able to, you know, provide employment to so many people without really, you know, just stressing the local market. It is also beneficial for these refugees because, believe me, like there are so many talented refugees in Turkey right now. They are graduated from pretty good schools, good English skills and everything. But you should see that they are working with like minimum wage jobs or really unqualified jobs. So it is a great opportunity for them to switch as well. And another good thing is that we take a lot of some of the reactions are this. They say that like some of our Turkish students as well say that, wow, like we have been together with these refugees for years now, and I have never met with one. I have never become a friend with one. And it is the same with the Syrian people as well. They say, wow, I have been in this country for the past 5 years, but I have never been in a Turkish community, like talk with you guys, you know. So they become friends as well. So this is a very good development according to us, because this problem is not going anywhere. So we have to do something, and we cannot just ignore, you know, just okay, I mean, you fight for jobs or you do a minimum wage job. It is a waste of human potential, and we don't want that to happen. So we definitely give a chance to everyone who is ready to work hard and who needs our support. And some of our refugee students are pretty successful actually. They do a very good job. Yeah, so very important topic. And we think actually that will be even a more important topic because, as you know, like because of climate change, because of some other problems, more and more people are expected to change countries in the coming years. The number of refugees are expected to rise around the world. What are we gonna do then? I mean, you cannot just shut your doors everywhere. You know, you have to find a way to integrate these people, help these people find jobs. And another good thing about these tech jobs is it allows remote work. That's the good thing. So that's why we are pretty happy actually. Like we are able to place some people into European companies, and we are about to make some other agreements with Israel, for
Mhm.
example, some startups from Israel as well who want to hire these people. So it's pretty good because when we started VCode in Turkey, our vision was this: why Turkey is not a talent hub for the world, one of the talent hubs at least. Why don't companies look at Turkey to hire developers from Turkey if they want to hire someone? And so our dream is coming true now because as we place people into jobs, you know, they work remotely for other companies. They are creating a reputation of the country as well. And that is what we need. I mean, we need to change the conversation around Turkey right now, I think. This is another mission of Kodluyoruz actually. We don't want people to talk about Turkey only with negative news or something. We want people to talk about it with the potential of the youth there. And there is a huge potential. And we are honored. We are very proud to show it actually too, with our awards, international awards we get, with all these companies we work with. It is about the changing the mindset. uh, Another thing is we think that the change in the country happens with also self-respect and being proud of ourselves. So we think that as the young people trust themselves and feel they are valuable, they can add value to the world, they will become happier, because right now really the situation in Turkey is not going very well in terms of economy. So we are trying to bring as much value to it as possible by creating really these high value and important jobs for these people. We have to do it. Otherwise, it is pretty, the future doesn't seem very bright for so many Turkish youth right now.
Mhm. Yeah, and you have corporate sponsors, partners as well, right? Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, so the good thing is we are changing the mindset of companies too right now. So many companies, like big companies like Amazon of Turkey, for example, Trendyol, maybe you heard of it, Insider, Early Bird Venture Capital. So these companies are really respected and they employ a lot of people. So right now, instead of just creating a job post outside, they just hire from us. They come to us and they say us, I am gonna give you money for you to train me 10 developers. You do a training, I will hire them. And this turned out to be amazing because first of all, they don't spend their resources a lot. Second of all, right now we are not only training people, we are immediately placing them into jobs. It is a win-win situation for companies too as well. They don't have to spend time outside, they can just hire from us. Yeah, we have a lot of partnerships like this. Microsoft is a big partner as well, for us,
Mhm.
and it is growing. I mean, so many businesses started to recognize. But we are also looking for companies in the US as well. Some of our graduates work for US companies remotely. We place them into jobs. They are pretty happy with that. So we are trying to also increase our partnerships here as well, just with the people who want to hire Turkish developers remotely.
Wow, it's just so inspiring.
Yeah, thank you.
So maybe our students have questions about, um, how they can grow in this industry. I mean, I think you're now opening a door for them by sharing these stories of, the sector, of what can be done. Um, for instance, as high school students, what can they do? How? I mean, are there internship opportunities? Are there learning opportunities? Can they partner with you?
Mhm.
Can they teach English? Can they teach coding or learn coding?
Mhm. Yeah.
So all of that.
So one of the things is, if any of you want to be involved in these tech jobs, or if you are interested in what's going on, everybody's talking about computer science. I don't know anything about it. I'm pretty intimidated by it. If you say those kinds of things, I would just say, start learning from somewhere, because as I said, there are so many resources in English. But like doing it alone, by yourself, is a pretty hard thing, because these topics are difficult to learn, and there are so many resources that is confusing. You sometimes don't know, like there is Python, there is Java, there is JavaScript. It's like it becomes so overwhelming if you don't have friends who are working on the same things. So I would suggest you to meet with people and to be involved in these communities. It is the best way to learn, actually. And if you want to do that, please come to our Discord channel. So let me invite you now. So you can come to our Discord. If you didn't use Discord, it's a pretty popular socializing platform, actually, messaging and talk. You can
I
come.
never heard that before. What is it, like WhatsApp?
It is a little bit different than WhatsApp. Yeah, it is more like Slack. Did you use Slack before?
I don't know.
Yeah, it
That
is
sounds
like
more
messaging.
familiar, but
Yeah, it is more used in professional life, but young people mostly use this for gaming. When they like do games, like it is like chatting with each other
mhm.
and talking with each other without opening cameras and everything. It's a pretty fun platform. I am also using it now. I'm learning it from all these young people. I didn't know it before, so I'm learning from them. But come to our Discord. So every week, 2 times, they do English speaking clubs. So even if you don't know any Turkish, that's a great opportunity to meet people. You can come there, and all those people in our Discord, they are basically like you. They are either just starting now, or they are more advanced people that you can ask questions like what you should do, what you are interested. They would love to talk with you because they are trying to improve their English skills as well. And if you want to learn, you can learn. Turkish from them as well. Okay, can I take a picture of the link, because this isn't my picture? I guess you can. Yeah. How to send him the picture? Do you know?
Maybe he's doing it.
Okay, I think
Maybe Gulcan, if you send it to me, this invitation through email, then I can forward it to them.
yeah, sure, I
Also.
will. But I guess Sandro, you got it right.
Okay.
I think he did.
I
Great.
think he
Okay.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one thing. Another thing is, I mean, as I said, you are pretty lucky because there are so many English and free resources. There's Code Academy, which is pretty good. There are many free resources there. We really like it. If you don't know anything, though, start from scratch. It is pretty fun. And there's also CS50 courses. CS50, if you watch even the first 1 or 2 weeks, it is pretty eye-opening about what is coding. It's very, very fun. It is from a Harvard University professor. Maybe you heard about him. His name is David Mellon. Very, very good professor. Open it. It is on edX. It is for free completely. Go start watching his classes. It's so much fun. And we actually translated it into Turkish and opened it to everyone. Yeah, it is so like it has gained so much attention in Turkey. People love it. And David Mellon actually the other day met with the Turkish people. It was so much fun. Like he met with us on on Zoom and answered our questions. He's great. So start from these. Just, I mean, even if you are not going to be a programmer, just learn about this. What is a code and everything. Don't be like, don't close your eyes into it, because when you go into it, it's pretty fun, and probably you will hear a lot about these things. So yeah, just these three resources are pretty good to start with. And afterwards, if you join a community, you will already learn a lot how to go ahead, what kind of technologies are there.
David Mellon, did I write?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did I spell it correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Any questions for Gulcan?
So are there, let me ask you a question, guys, to you. Does any one of you know how to program? Sandra knows.
Yeah.
What language do you use, Sandro?
Well, I spent like a couple years on Scratch, so I'm not like really good with like Java or C++ or anything. It's just like Scratch and random stuff on that. It's really,
yeah. It's so much fun though. It's great to start with. What about you, Mina? Where did you learn it? What do you do?
My dad, he's actually a computer science professor, so I learned a lot from him. But at school, I'm learning Java right now. This is my second year taking a Java class there.
Wow.
But I can also do really basic Python.
Nice. Are you a high school student?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing. They teach you Java. You are pretty lucky. Very good.
And I think there's a question in the chat.
You go ahead, Gizemciğim.
So Mina is asking when you first started Kodluyoruz, Gulcan, and how did you advertise it? Was it hard?
Yeah, so it wasn't hard. This is the good part of being an entrepreneur. You have to be creative without any money, any resources or something. What we did was this. We started with an experiment. We started a Facebook page. Once upon a time, Facebook was very popular. You won't believe it, but lots of young people were using it. So we started a Facebook page. We made up some logos and some name and everything. We made up a website, very simple one. And then we said that, okay, people don't know about us. They don't know anything about what we should do. So we just created a Turkish document, say a Google Doc, writing down how you can become a software developer. And we just listed different free resources there. That is only thing we did. Like it was a 3-5 page document, I guess. And it said that, okay, if you are zero, if you don't know anything, you have to go to these links. If you want to become a mobile developer, you have to go to these links and everything. So, but we did a very good, clear, very quality document actually, and we put it on our website. And we said that, hey guys, just if you wanna learn about it, come and download this document. And like we made a very small advertisement, maybe $50 or something. Like it's a pretty small thing we put to advertise it. And like in a very short amount of time, around 50,000 people downloaded it in Turkey. And we were so shocked. We are like, what? Just this is like, we wrote this document in a weekend with a couple of friends. And it kind of built our brand reputation as well. Like people started talking about Kodluyoruz. Oh, these guys are providing these resources and everything. And then we decided, okay, people are really interested in how to learn these things. So let's start some trainings for them. That's how we started. But of course, the different thing about Turkey is, guys, like in Turkey, there is a need for everything. I mean, so many markets are not, they are just free. I mean, in US, for example, lots of things were already done before. There is so much competition in everything. But in Turkey, everything that's coming to our mind wasn't done before. So we were the first people doing it. So it was much more easier for us to introduce ourselves and inspire people. Probably if we tried to do it in the US, it would be much harder because people have already seen these kinds of things before. Yeah, so it wasn't difficult, Mina. It is pretty easy in Turkey to, if you do a good job, people hear about you quickly.
Austin, do you know coding? You said not really, but it sounds like you know some.
I don't really know coding. The most I've done is like a summer program for like 3 months, but I barely remember it. I think we use JavaScript though.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you guys don't know, as I said, just at least Google about it. Just watch some videos and everything. Do play with some Scratch, because really, like, there is a very big shortage around the world about for these people, and there are not enough computer science graduates. I don't wanna say that just go for it, but because everybody, I'm sure all of you have different kind of talents, but at least just knowing what it is, that would be good, because it is not a job that is like you just sit on a computer and code every day. It is a pretty social job. Actually, you have to be good with people as well. You have to work well with people. You have to solve problems. It's pretty fun. So don't just think with what you see on the movies or something. Just I would say that just do some Scratch. Maybe you would enjoy it.
Gulcan, is your organization profitable at this point? Because you started how many years ago now? Is it 5
4 years
years?
ago. It started 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so right now, this year, actually, we are at the break-even point. Yeah, it means
Oh, great.
we are making enough resources, enough sales to cover our expenses. On top of it, there are many grants we get, so we are profitable in that sense. Yeah, and in the upcoming years, we want to expand to other developing countries around Turkey, actually. Because the market is also very empty there. There is not too much going on. And when you think about it, lots of these coding bootcamps are in the US, in Europe, in Australia, in English speaking and very rich countries, actually. But in most of the world population are not in these countries. And there is a need for these programs actually in other countries as well. So very soon, actually, we are expanding to another country. I'm not gonna say the name for now. Let it be surprise. We are very excited for it, but we aim to take our learning from here, Kodluyoruz, and make it a more regional brand, kind of. So let's see. Hopefully, we would be successful, because we say, why not? I mean, why wouldn't it? Just it would be great to have a global brand born in Turkey. Hopefully.
So do you provide your programs or boot camps in English?
Until now, we didn't do it because English, although we always tell people it is very important for them to learn it, English is a big barrier for a lot of people in Turkey, actually, for them to learn. And you learn best in your own language, in your mother language. So we always went with Turkish. But I mean, once they come to A level, we always say that you have to learn English. Actually, this year, for the first time, we are testing some English classes for our students. We are starting it tomorrow, I guess, and we will see what will be the result. But they have to definitely learn it. But for now, we are teaching everything in Turkish.
Mhm. So when you expand, are you gonna teach in English or in their local languages?
In their local language we plan, because the
Okay.
countries we aim for are also developing countries like ours. Most of
Mhm,
them English is going to exclude so many people, so we want to
mhm,
reach to many more people and find the best talent among them.
mhm. Cool. Wow. How exciting.
Hopefully. Let's yeah, difficult, but hopefully.
So in 10 years, I can see that you'll have a regional, maybe a global organization. And maybe
Yeah,
some of our high school students here that are here today will work for your organization, maybe.
yeah, hopefully, yeah, would be great. Yeah, that's our goal. It is gonna be difficult, but we think that we have a good advantage in Turkey in terms of, I mean, Turkey doesn't have as many resources as the US or other countries. You know, you have to find your way with limited resources, and that is a big advantage as well. So, an entrepreneur from US may not have as many advantages as us, you know, because we know the resources more, connections more, and everything. So let's see. I mean, we are hopeful, but hopefully we will try at least, because entrepreneurship is something that, I mean, you have to try. If you fail, it is okay. I mean, nobody is gonna judge us like, oh, you couldn't do it. It's okay, but we have to give it a try.
So are there any of you who would like to be an entrepreneur? Or do you see yourselves as entrepreneurs? I can see Sandra's hand. So what do you have? Is there a specific idea that you'd like to pursue, Sandro?
When I grow up and going like a good business school and eventually starting my own business. But I don't know exactly because competition and stuff changes over the years. So you never know what kind of product could be needed in the future.
Yeah.
Mhm. But you'd like to start your own business or enterprise. Okay.
Right.
So Gulcan, I have a question. I guess if there are no other questions, maybe this will be the last question because I know you have to leave. But you know how people say like entrepreneurship is something that you're born with, you either have it or you don't have it. Would you agree with that statement? Do you think it's something that you can develop
Mhm.
later in life, or do you think you need to be born with that
Yeah.
entrepreneurship gene or whatever it is?
It's a very difficult question. I never thought about it actually. But if you ask me in high school, I would never say that I would start something like this. You know, just
Mhm,
um, I think if you are a executor, meaning if you like, if you don't like just talking, if you like doing things, even in your normal job or daily life, I think it can be learned. Why not? I mean, and the good thing about it is that being successful doesn't happen in your first trial in general. You just fail, and then the good thing, I mean, if you have the grit to continue, I mean, if you fall down, if you are okay with falling down and then getting up again and running again, if you are that kind of person, I would say that, yeah, I mean, you don't have to be the smartest person, or you don't have to be the best developer. I don't know much coding as well by myself. I mean, I'm not I just know the basics and everything. It is, I think the most important characteristic is that there will be a lot of difficulties. You should just be okay with it. And when there is a bad thing happening, you are not gonna cry. Maybe you cry one day and then you continue the next day. That's the, I think, the most important thing. And I think it can be learned too. Why not?
Mhm. Well, thank you. That's very encouraging. I mean, I agree. I think people, we don't know what we are capable of until we are faced with a situation.
Yeah.
So if you didn't come to the US to do your business degree, maybe you would have never
Yeah.
found out what you're capable of.
Yeah, exactly. And also there are many people also around the world I observe, I meet, is that something happened in their life and they decided to do something about it. Like the other day I met with a woman who started an organization to help people who lost their families in wars and everything. I asked her, like, how did you start it after, so many years? She was around maybe 50, 60 years old or something. And she said that she lost her husband actually in one of the wars, and she was like, she saw how difficult it was and everything. Sometimes it also happens. It wasn't in her mind, but something happened in your life, and you say it becomes your big problem. And I think one of the important thing for entrepreneurship is it has to be your passion. You have to be passionate about that issue, what you are working on. I mean, it doesn't have to be a social issue as well, but for example, Sandro, for you as well, yes, you maybe you don't know what is going to be the next big thing in the world, but what you are passionate about right now, what excites you, you know do you love playing games, or do you love spending time with your friends, or something else, what bugs you in life, what enjoys you in life. I mean, if you know that, it is easier to be successful. But if you just go for it to be rich or something, or famous, it is not gonna continue, because it takes a lot of time to be rich or famous, and you are probably not gonna do that because some little people do it. Like, it's not, but it has to be a passion, I think. So yeah, it can come at any age, I think.
Wow, great. Thank you so much, Gulcan. And of course, Gizem, thank you for this presentation. Again, I know Gulcan has to leave, so I'm conscious that we're running out of time. But yes, thank you for sharing your stories with our students, and what you have achieved together. It's very inspiring. Maybe I'll turn it over to Gizem for your closing remarks, Gizem.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Gulcan again, like you did, for her great story and for partnering with us, for helping me launch our program in Turkey, which is personally very gratifying to me. So I'd like to thank her again, and I'd like to thank her that she told her story to you guys. I hope you were inspired by the amazing story, and you guys should think about what you want to do. What are some of the things that you can initiate when you're in college, even when you're in high school? There are many things you could do. So start thinking. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Gizem Hocam. It is great to work with you as well. I remember meeting in your office and brainstorming, and it is great to implement it with you. It's really great. And thank you for all your efforts to be a bridge between two countries.
Thank you, Ida.
Let's take a picture together. If you can turn on your cameras, everybody, we can have a screenshot. Great.
All of us is like with our hairs and everything. It's really super. Oh, it's good to see your face.
Okay, so we still have Alara, Zeynep. Oh, good, perfect. Alara Altunbaş, Dila, Eren, Zain, Nejati. Okay, smile and maybe wave. Let me see the hands. Maybe like if you guys can come closer, for instance, Deniz, I cannot see your face fully. If you come closer, yeah. All right, yeah, let's wave. Woohoo. Great.
Thank you, Demet.
Thank you. This is great. So I'll share the pictures with you.
Okay, thanks for inviting. Hope you enjoyed, guys, and I wasn't too boring.
No.
Have a good day.
It was very inspiring.
Bye, everyone. Yeah.
Bye, everybody. See you
Bye-bye.
next week.
Bye.
Thank you.